In this demonstration, we're going to look at configuring an enterprise wireless network. The process for configuring an enterprise wireless network is very different than the process you'd use to configure a home or small office wireless network. When you're configuring a home or small office wireless network, you're typically configuring a single access point and router. That's not the case with an enterprise wireless network. In an enterprise wireless network, we usually have lots of different access points to provide wireless coverage. Instead of configuring each individual access point, we configure a wireless controller, which then manages all the access points in the wireless network. That's what we're going to do here. Be aware before we get going that there's no way we can possibly cover the configuration steps for all the different wireless networking vendors, or even all the settings available on this device. We've picked one here that we're going to work with, but the general concepts we'll use transfer fairly well to other vendors' equipment. First thing we need to do to set up our Cisco wireless LAN controller is connect the console cable and launch with PuTTY. This will be a serial connection, so you must figure out which COM port your cable is set to in Device Manager. It so happens that ours is COM3. The baud rate is the default 9600. Since we want to see the startup process, we want to make sure our serial session is launched before power is applied to the wireless LAN controller. Now, let's power on the WLC. This will take a minute, so we'll speed things up so we don't have to wait. The thing we're interested in is seeing the auto install area. As long as a network connection is hooked up to the WLC, it'll grab a DHCP address. You can see ours is 192.168.0.89. Let's switch over to a web browser to start configuring this device. It'll ask you for a new admin username and password. We're going to enter those quickly and click Start. The system name can be anything of your choosing. Our management IP will be 192.168.0.48. Typically, you set it to something outside the DHCP range. So the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and the gateway is 192.168.0.1. Depending on your network, the VLAN ID may vary. Click Next. Through the wizard, we can create a wireless network. However, you can add or remove networks after the wizard is complete. For now, let's set up an employee network named TestOut. You can select either WPA2 or WPA2 Enterprise. Enter a passphrase and confirm it below. If this wireless network is on a different VLAN, it can be specified or changed later. Let's click Next and Next. This lists out a summary of configured settings. We want to verify these settings and click Apply at the bottom when complete. There's a message that does pop up stating the system will reboot after applying the settings. Just click OK. This will take a while, so we're going to fast forward and use the new assigned IP for the management interface. By default, you'll see the dashboard after logging in, but everything you need for configuration is under Advanced. By default, the WLC can add any compatible access point automatically, so we need to make sure access points don't auto-join our WLC if we don't want them to. One way we can prevent this is to add access points by MAC address. If we go to Security and then AP Policies, we can define which type of policy we want toward our access points. The two policies we should have checked are Accept Manufactured Installed Certificate, or MIC, and Authorize MIC APs against AuthList or AAA. Next, we need to click Add and define the MAC address of the access point we want to add. Otherwise, it won't be associated with the WLC. Normally, it takes several minutes for the AP to download the update after it's been added to the list. Go to the Monitor tab and look at Access Point Summary. You can see there are two access points there now, and when we click Detail, we see the MAC address of the previously added access point. In a real deployment, you would probably have 20 or more different access points all listed here, and so you'd have to know which one is which based upon your network map or AP name. One way we can section off access points is with AP groups. These can be used for multiple reasons, but today we're going to use them to section off SSIDs. The settings for this is located in WLANs and AP groups. There's a default group here, which is a catch-all out-of-the-box setup. Up in the right-hand corner, there's an Add Group button. Let's label this group Lobby. Once the group exists, we can click into it and define the settings. In the WLANs tab, we can add our SSID, which is guest 3, and click Add. Next, on the APs tab, we select the newly added AP we have on the list. All APs that are available will be on the right-hand side here. Simply click the AP in question and click Add. It'll give you a warning. The AP will be rebooted for the AP group change and will also only advertise the first 8 WLANs subscribed on 5 GHz. Click OK. This will just take a few minutes, so we'll just fast forward from here. Great. Our AP is added to our lobby group. Keep in mind, APs can only be added to one AP group, so when we switched this AP to the lobby group, it removed it from the default group. Also, since there's only the guest SSID in this group, that'll be the only SSID broadcast from this AP. Don't forget to save your configurations in the right-hand corner. Otherwise, if this WLC reboots, all the configurations could be lost. That's it for this demonstration. In this demo, we talked about how to configure an enterprise wireless network. We first looked at setting up a wireless LAN controller from the wizard. Then we added an AP to our WLC through an access list. And we wrapped up by associating an AP with an AP group in our lobby.